All right, buckle up everybody, because today we are diving deep into the Mushroom Kingdom.
That's right.
We're talking about all the Mario characters,
Every single one.
from the heroes and villains you know by heart.
To those deep cuts, those weird ones you might have forgotten.
I've got a whole stack of videos here breaking them all down.
I'm excited.
Me too.
What I think is really cool about this deep dive is you can kind of see how Mario as a franchise has evolved through the characters. You see recurring archetypes, little design choices that pop up over and over again, and of course, some weird stuff along the way.
I am ready for all of it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's start with the basics, the OGs, the ones everyone knows. Mario,
Luigi,
Bowser.
the core crew.
Yeah, you know them, I know them, everyone listening knows them, but I bet you we can still find some cool stuff about them in these videos.
Oh, for sure.
Like, Peach, did you know there's a Japan-only game where she's a Mahjong master?
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It challenges that whole damsel in distress thing.
She's not just waiting around to be rescued.
No, she's playing Mahjong,
Exactly.
strategizing, showing off her skills. I love it.
It adds so much to her character.
Deep dives, man, always something new to learn.
Always.
The videos also highlighted the Koopalings, Bowser's kids.
Oh, yeah, the little troublemakers?
I always thought they were just like Bowser, but different colors.
Yeah, that's the classic palette swap.
Palette swap.
Yeah. In game design, you take a base character, change up the colors, boom, you've got some variations.
Oh, that makes sense.
But the Koopalings, they're way more than that. They each have their own signature moves and attacks, and their personalities are reflected in how they fight.
So their personalities aren't just visual.
Nope.
They affect the actual gameplay.
Right, like Wendy, she uses her rings and that whole vain personality to distract you. And then you've got Ludwig, who's the composer. He attacks with sound waves and crazy movements.
It all ties together.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Okay, speaking of the big bad, what about Bowser himself?
Man.
We got Giant Bowser,
Giga Bowser.
Dark Bowser.
Papercraft Bowser Jr.
So many Bowsers.
Why so many variations on the same villain?
Well, from a game design perspective, gotta keep things fresh, right?
Yeah.
Gotta keep it challenging. So you've got Giant Bowser. Suddenly the scale changes. It's intimidating. This massive Koopa King filling the screen.
Yeah.
Then you have Dark Bowser. And now there's a totally different vibe. More sinister, more powerful.
Oh.
And of course, Papercraft Bowser Jr., it's like, what can we do visually? How can we change things up? Let's play with art styles.
That's cool. That's cool.
You take something familiar, Bowser, and then you just reimagine it in all these creative ways.
I love that.
And speaking of creative reimagining, the Goombas.
The Goombas.
Oh yeah, how many different ways can you make a walking mushroom?
Right. I mean, it's so simple, but there's giant Goombas, tiny micro Goombas, Paragoombas with wings.
It's that iterative design again, taking a basic concept and just pushing it as far as it can go.
Gritty Goombas, sad Goombas,
So many Goombas.
robot Goombas. I mean, come on.
And can we talk about Goomba Tower?
Oh my gosh, yes, a stack of Goombas. That's the boss.
Hilarious, right?
Absolutely hilarious.
But also kind of genius, using those familiar elements in these unexpected ways.
Totally, totally.
Okay, moving on from the Goombas, let's talk about the Toads.
The Toads, yeah.
I mean, we know the basic Toad.
Right.
But then you've got Toadsworth, Toadette.
Prince Mush.
Now, Prince Mush, he's from the Paper Mario series, and he might look like just another Toad,
Yeah.
but he's an optional boss.
What?
And you need a completely different strategy to beat him.
That's cool.
It shows that even those seemingly minor characters, they can have surprising depth.
Prince Mush, the Toad you do not want to mess with.
You got that right.
Okay, I gotta ask about Wario and Waluigi.
Oh, the mischievous duo?
Two sides of the same coin. Wario gets all the boss battles.
True.
Waluigi, he's mostly in spin-offs. Why?
Why the disparity?
Yeah.
That's the question, isn't it?
It's been driving me crazy.
Some people say it's because Waluigi doesn't really have a backstory.
Oh.
He's more mysterious, which means there's more room for Nintendo to, do something with him.
Develop him further.
Exactly.
But I think it's also a missed opportunity.
How so?
I mean, imagine if they gave him a backstory as wild as Wario's.
I mean, yeah.
He could be such a great villain.
He's got the potential.
So much potential.
He's definitely a fan favorite, and I think we'll see more of him.
I hope so.
But for now, yeah, that mystery is part of his appeal.
I get, all right. Now for the weird stuff.
Oh, yeah. the truly bizarre.
We're talking creatures that make you go, what is that?
Like King Kunk. Have you seen this thing?
I'm looking at it right now, and I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Part bug, part crown, part... I don't even know.
I don't know either.
It's like they raided a fever dream.
Yeah, and then they slapped a crown on it.
Exactly. It's that surreal Mario humor.
And the names.
Tarantox, Spot Lion.
Boomboxer.
They're not afraid to get weird with it.
A whole menagerie of misfits.
It adds to the charm, for sure.
Okay, so we've got the heroes, the villains, the weird creatures. But what about the characters that are, I don't know, a little more human-like?
Oh, you mean like Demento, Mimi, Tatonga?
Yeah, they have more human-like traits, and they play these complex roles in the stories.
Right. They offer a different kind of glimpse into the Mario world.
Yeah, their motivations are more nuanced.
The personalities are more complex.
Mimi, for instance.
Oh, Mimi.
Shape-shifting fashion icon.
With a seriously manipulative personality.
Yeah, and it's like her outfits and disguises, they reflect that cunning, that deceptiveness.
It's not just style, it's substance too.
Style and substance.
It all adds to her character, makes her more than just another boss to beat.
She's got her own agenda.
For sure.
This is great. I'm loving this.
Good, good.
So we've talked about living, breathing characters. But what about the bosses that aren't even alive?
Inanimate, but deadly.
Yeah, like King Bob-omb.
Classic example.
But then there are others, like the colored pencils from Super Mario Sunshine. Those were a trip.
And Super Peach's Castle of Fury.
You're fighting the architecture.
The building is the boss. That's wild.
It's all about raising the stakes, forcing the player to think differently.
Yeah.
You're not just battling a creature, you're battling an idea.
Makes you wonder, what other everyday objects could become Mario bosses?
I know, right?
A giant sentient chain chomp statue.
Oh, I like that.
Or maybe a haunted go-kart.
That'd be cool.
Possibilities are endless.
Truly.
Before we move on to the next batch of characters,
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to appreciate the sheer variety.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it?
From iconic heroes,
To obscure villains.
adorable creatures.
Downright bizarre ones.
It's like, there's this surface level to the Mario universe, all sunshine and rainbows.
Right. But then underneath,
There's this whole ecosystem of crazy and fascinating characters.
an iceberg.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what keeps it interesting.
Always something new to discover.
It makes you want to explore every corner of the world.
It makes you appreciate the creativity behind even the simplest Goomba.
So true.
So, are you ready to dive into some of the lesser-known characters?
Let's do it.
The ones who haven't gotten their due.
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. Ready to explore the Mushroom Kingdom's hidden gems?
Absolutely. Let's shine a light on those characters who deserve a little more love. Maybe even their own games.
Ooh, like who?
I don't know. Give me some ideas.
Okay, well, what about those boss battles that really made you think? The ones that weren't just about jumping on heads.
Yeah.
For me, the fight against Super Peach's Castle of Fury itself was wild.
You're battling the actual building?
The architecture is the enemy.
What other inanimate objects could they turn into bosses, do you think?
Ooh, that's a good question. How about a giant chain chomp statue?
Ooh,
Guarding a treasure vault, you gotta figure out how to get past it.
I like it.
Or a possessed go-kart, zooming around with a mind of its own.
Okay, now we're talking. That's a game I would play. Let's switch gears a bit. Which characters do you think have the most untapped potential?
Untapped potential.
Let's say we're pitching a Mario RPG spinoff to Nintendo.
Okay, I'm listening.
Who are your top 3 picks for the starring roles?
Ooh, tough choices, but I gotta go with Fawful.
Fawful.
Yeah, he's got the charisma, he's got the brains, and he's got a tragic backstory.
True.
He's practically begging for a redemption arc.
Yes, a Fawful RPG. He could have his own crew, maybe even team up with an unlikely hero.
The possibilities are endless.
Endless. Who else is on your list?
For my number 2 pick, I'm going with Mimi.
Mimi.
We talked about her shape-shifting, her killer fashion sense. Imagine a whole game where she's infiltrating high society parties in disguise,
Oh my god.
pulling off elaborate heists.
A stylish spy thriller starring Mimi.
Exactly.
I am so there.
All right, and for my last pick,
Last but not least,
for pure chaos factor, I gotta go with King Kong.
King Kunk, the thing that we can't even describe,
I know, right? But picture this, a platformer where you control this,
as it wreaks havoc.
wreaking havoc across the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay, that is a game I never knew I needed.
Right.
Fawful's redemption arc, Mimi's spy capades, and King Kunk just going wild. We're basically giving Nintendo a whole new franchise here.
They should hire us.
I know, right?
Maybe they're listening.
Let's hope so.
So stepping back from those specific characters, What do all these personalities, all these creatures, tell us about the Mario universe as a whole?
That's a good question.
It's a world that balances lighthearted fun with surprising depth, I think.
Yeah, I see that.
You've got the classic heroes and villains.
Right.
But then there's this whole layer of strange, quirky creatures lurking underneath.
Like an iceberg.
Exactly, an iceberg.
On the surface, it's all sunshine and rainbows.
But underneath, there's this vast, sometimes bizarre ecosystem.
And I think that that's what keeps it interesting. You never know what you're going to find.
There's a constant sense of discovery. It keeps players engaged, wanting to explore.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate the creativity, even in the simplest enemy.
Right, like a Goomba.
Goomba. Exactly.
But even with all this creativity, we see these recurring themes.
Yeah, like Bowser's endless variations.
He's got a subscription to Evil Villain Monthly or something.
No, it's like they take an element, tweak it, push it as far as it can go,
Classic iterative design.
and sometimes it gets really out there.
Like Dreamy Bowser.
Oh, Dreamy Bowser.
Rainbow fire-breathing, kaiju-sized Koopa King.
They went all out with that one.
But it works. It's unexpected. It's over the top.
It's still Bowser.
Exactly, and that speaks to the strength of that original design.
You know, it's the same with Mario, Luigi, Peach.
Their designs are so simple,
They're so iconic.
instantly recognizable.
And it's amazing how those designs work across all mediums, games, movies, even just on a t-shirt. You know who they are.
They've transcended the games. They're cultural icons.
And they're not slowing down. We're constantly seeing new interpretations, new spin-offs, new adventures.
It's exciting to be a Mario fan.
It really is.
There's always something new to discover.
A new challenge to conquer, a new laugh to be had.
It never gets old.
Even when Bowser gets kidnapped by, like, a giant sentient vacuum cleaner.
That's a story for another day.
You know what? Speaking of stories,
Yeah.
we've covered a lot of ground today.
Giant Bowsers, humanoid villain.
Sentient steak.
It's been a wild ride.
But amidst all the chaos and absurdity, there's this question that keeps coming back to me.
What's that?
What makes these characters, all these characters, truly resonate with players?
Good question.
Is it nostalgia? Is it the gameplay? Or is there something deeper going on?
That's definitely worth thinking about.
It is, and it's something we'll explore further in our last segment.
Ooh, a cliffhanger.
But for now,
We leave you with this thought.
think about your favorite Mario characters.
The ones you love to play as.
The ones you love to battle.
The ones that just make you smile.
What is it about them that makes them so special to you?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Until next time,
Keep on diving.
we've been on quite the journey, haven't we?
We have
Exploring the vast and colorful world of Mario characters.
all those heroes and villains.
Strange creatures, iconic bosses.
Everything in between.
But there's one question that keeps coming back to me.
What's that?
Why do these characters resonate so much with us? What makes them stick with us, even years later?
It's fascinating, isn't it? You'd think it'd just be nostalgia for some of us.
Right, we grew up with Mario.
Exactly, but there's something more, I think.
It's like no matter how weird things get,
How surreal.
yeah, there's always this underlying sense of fun.
A playfulness.
It's like you're battling a giant spiky turtle and you can't help but smile.
It's that lightheartedness that really defines the Mario universe.
And it's embodied in the characters, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They're exaggerated, sometimes even absurd.
But they're always endearing.
Think about the Goombas,
Literally walking mushrooms,
but they're iconic.
right? And so much variety.
Tiny Goombas, giant Goombas.
Terragoombas with those little wings.
It's goofy, and that's what makes them lovable.
It's that playfulness that makes the Mario universe so appealing.
There's a sense of wonder, like you're a kid again.
It's magical.
And it's not just the heroes either.
No, the villains have it too.
Bowser, for instance,
He's always trying to kidnap Peach.
take over the Mushroom Kingdom.
But he's got that bumbling side to him.
He's like that mischievous uncle,
You know, he doesn't really mean any harm.
but you still gotta shake your head at his antics.
And even when he turns into some crazy monster,
Giant Bowser,
Giga Bowser,
Dreamy Bowser,
there's still that glimmer of Bowser in there
that mischief.
that makes him relatable.
Yeah, he can be scary, he can be funny.
But he's always Bowser.
I think that's a big part of what we've learned today.
What's that?
These characters have a certain timelessness to them, simple designs,
Archetypal personalities.
but they're always evolving, adapting to new games and stories.
It's incredible what the developers have done.
It really is.
A cast of characters that feels both familiar and fresh.
Classic, but also contemporary.
It's a tough balance to strike.
And they nailed it.
They did.
That's why the Mario universe continues to thrive.
New players, old players, everyone can find something to love.
Something to connect with.
It's a reminder that even in a world that's constantly changing, there's still room for simple, joyful experiences.
Experiences that bring people together, spark imagination.
Create lasting memories.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
we encourage you to revisit your favorite characters, explore new corners of the Mushroom Kingdom, and rediscover that magic.
The magic that has captivated generations of players.
Keep on diving, everyone.